The idea of letting her in-laws move in seemed like a reasonable solution to a temporary problem. Samantha, a 35-year-old career woman, had always been focused on her work, her goals, and her life with Braun. However, when a family tragedy struck, everything changed. Braun, her husband, broached the subject one evening after a somber family gathering. The weight of the recent loss lingered in the air as Braun hesitantly suggested, "Sam, what if Mom and Lisa move in with us for a while? It's just until they get back on their feet." Samantha, absorbed in her own thoughts about the recent events, looked at Braun with a mix of surprise and concern. "Move in? Braun, we've never discussed anything like this. Our life is already hectic with work, and now you want to add more to it?" Braun sighed, running his hand through his hair. "I know it's not ideal, Sam, but they're family. They have no one else right now, and we can help them. Besides, it's just for a little while until they figure things out." Reluctantly, Samantha agreed. "Fine, but it's temporary, Braun. I need my space and time to focus on my career. I won't compromise that." Little did Samantha know that this unexpected living arrangement would become a turning point in her life. The promise of a temporary stay would unravel into broken commitments, financial struggles, and eventually an unforeseen path to independence. The initial days of the living arrangement felt like an unsteady truce. Samantha tried to maintain a balance between her demanding career and the added responsibilities at home. However, it didn't take long for the promises made by her in-laws to crumble. One evening, as Samantha rushed in from work, she found herself tackling a sink full of dishes and a pile of laundry that seemed to have multiplied in her absence. Frustration etched on her face. She confronted her mother-in-law. "Mom, I thought we agreed that you and Lisa would handle the household chores. I can't keep up with everything." Her mother-in-law, distracted by the television, replied dismissively, "Oh, Samantha, we've had a long day too. We'll get to it when we can. You're young. You can manage." Days turned into weeks, and Samantha found herself shouldering the domestic burden entirely. One evening, as she prepared dinner alone, her sister-in-law, Lisa, entered the kitchen. Samantha, exasperated, questioned, "Lisa, we agreed you would help out. It's not fair that I'm doing everything." Lisa rolled her eyes. "Come on, Sam. It's not like I don't have my own things to deal with. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Just because you make more money doesn't mean we have to do everything you say." The strain on Samantha's marriage became palpable. As she and Braun sat down one evening, she couldn't hold back her frustration. "Braun, we need to talk. Your family staying here is affecting us. They're not keeping their end of the bargain, and it's taking a toll on me, on us." Braun, torn between loyalty to his family and his commitment to Samantha, sighed, "I'll talk to them, Sam. I promise things will get better. Just give it a little more time." Little did Samantha know that these broken promises were just the beginning of the financial struggles that would cast a shadow over her marriage. The breaking point came sooner than Samantha had anticipated. One evening, as she returned home from a particularly grueling day at work, she was met with a sight that would shatter the fragile semblance of normalcy she had been desperately clinging to. The front door, usually welcoming, stood defiantly locked. Bewilderment and disbelief washed over Samantha as she fumbled with her keys, trying to make sense of the situation. Panic set in when the key refused to turn, the door remaining resolutely shut. Desperation clawing at her, Samantha pounded on the door. "Braun. Lisa. Open the door. What's going on?" The silence that followed was deafening, and the sinking feeling in Samantha's gut intensified. In a state of shock, Samantha discovered her belongings scattered haphazardly on the porch, a cruel testament to her sudden exclusion. Tears welled up in her eyes as she unfolded a note amidst her discarded possessions. The cold words on the paper cut deep. Never return. Consider yourself lucky we didn't discard your belongings. My obnoxious in-laws. As she stood there, locked out of what used to be her home, Samantha felt a mixture of betrayal and anger. In that moment, she knew that her in-laws had orchestrated her forced departure, leaving her with no choice but to pick up the pieces of her broken life. Determined, Samantha called Braun, her voice trembling. "What is this, Braun? Why have you locked me out?" His response was evasive. "Sam, we thought it would be best if you stayed somewhere else for a while. Things have become tense, and we need some space." Infuriated, Samantha retorted, "Space? After everything I've done for your family, this is how you treat me." Braun's feeble attempt to explain fell on deaf ears as Samantha, hurt and angry, contemplated her next move. The home she once shared with Braun was now an inaccessible relic of a shattered marriage. As Samantha's world crumbled around her, she found an unexpected strength within. Determined not to be defined by the callous actions of her in-laws, she sought refuge in a small, cozy apartment, a space entirely her own. Surrounded by unfamiliar walls, Samantha experienced a mix of liberation and loneliness. The first few days were a whirlwind of emotions as she grappled with the reality of her newfound independence. It was a bittersweet freedom, an opportunity to rebuild her life on her terms. Embracing this chance to rediscover herself, Samantha hired household services to alleviate the mundane chores that had once overwhelmed her. One evening, as she returned home to a spotless apartment, she couldn't help but marvel at the simplicity of her life. In a moment of quiet reflection, she whispered to herself, "This is how it should be." The decision to divorce Braun weighed heavy on her heart, but Samantha knew it was a necessary step toward reclaiming her identity. Sitting down with a divorce attorney, she signed papers that symbolized the end of a tumultuous chapter and the beginning of a new, uncharted journey. One evening, as she scrolled through travel destinations on her computer, a sense of excitement and anticipation bubbled within her. The realization hit her: she could indulge in experiences solely for herself. The weight of responsibility had lifted, and Samantha was determined to savor every moment. In a conversation with her closest friend, Rachel, Samantha laughed for the first time in what felt like an eternity. "Can you believe I'm planning a solo trip to Europe?" she exclaimed. Rachel, thrilled to see her friend rediscovering joy, replied, "You deserve it, Sam. It's time to put yourself first." The months passed, and Samantha's life transformed into a tapestry of personal victories. With each passing day, she reveled in the freedom to make choices without compromise. As the echoes of her broken marriage faded into the background, Samantha embraced the vibrant hues of her newly liberated life. 3 months into her newfound independence, Samantha's phone rang unexpectedly. The number on the screen sent a shiver down her spine. It was her in-laws. Despite the healing wounds and the determination to move forward, curiosity got the better of her, and she answered the call. "Hello." Samantha's voice wavered, a mix of caution and surprise. "Paisley, where are you?" "I went to your parents' house, but they wouldn't tell me. I asked at your workplace, but they wouldn't tell me either." "Tell me where you are," came the stern voice of her mother-in-law. Samantha took a deep breath before responding, "I'm not Paisley anymore, and I'm not coming back. I've moved on with my life." A pause lingered on the line before her mother-in-law continued, "Come back quickly and give us our lives back. We don't even have money to go out and have fun. What are we going to do now?" The plea for help struck Samantha as ironic. After everything that had transpired, her in-laws were now facing the consequences of their actions. Suppressing a sarcastic chuckle, she replied, "Shouldn't you have thought about that before kicking me out and changing the locks? I have my own life now, and I won't be dragged back into your mess." The voice on the other end seemed desperate. "Samantha, you didn't say anything. Are you really listening? Come back quickly. We don't even have money to pay our bills. Our phone and electricity are about to be cut off. We're at our limit. Please come back right away." Samantha's tone turned stern. "I'm not your solution anymore. You made your choices, and now you have to deal with the consequences. Goodbye." As she ended the call, Samantha couldn't help but feel a strange mix of vindication and sadness. The unexpected call had confirmed that, despite the passage of time, her in-laws remained unchanged, still relying on her for financial stability. However, Samantha remained resolute in her decision, knowing that her independence was a hard-earned triumph she would not surrender. In the aftermath of the unexpected call, Samantha found herself grappling with a surge of emotions. The wounds from the past were not easily forgotten, and as she navigated through the complexities of healing, she decided to seek professional guidance. Enter Dr. Miller, a compassionate therapist with a soothing demeanor. Samantha, nestled in the comfortable confines of the therapist's office, began to unravel the layers of pain and betrayal that had accumulated over the past years. Dr. Miller, empathetically listening, remarked, "It's essential to acknowledge the hurt, Samantha. Healing begins with understanding and accepting your emotions." Samantha nodded, her voice trembling. "I trusted them, Dr. Miller. I thought family meant support and love. Instead, I was left locked out of my own home, discarded like I was nothing." Dr. Miller responded with a gentle reassurance. "Your feelings are valid, Samantha. Betrayal from those we trust the most is a profound wound. It will take time, but you have the strength to overcome it." As the therapy sessions progressed, Samantha found solace in expressing her suppressed emotions. She learned to confront the pain head-on, gradually understanding that the healing process was not linear. In one session, she shared a breakthrough with Dr. Miller. "I realized I held on to the idea of family, even when it became toxic. Letting go is hard, but it's necessary." Dr. Miller offered a supportive smile. "Letting go is a form of self-love, Samantha. You're creating space for healing and growth. It's a courageous step." Outside the therapy room, Samantha continued to lean on her support system. A heart-to-heart conversation with her best friend, Rachel, provided further clarity. Over coffee, Rachel said, "You're stronger than you think, Sam. You've survived the unimaginable. Now, it's time to thrive." Samantha, sipping her coffee, nodded appreciatively. "I'm done carrying their burden. It's time for me to live for myself." With each therapy session and heartfelt conversation, Samantha's wounds began to mend. The pain didn't disappear entirely, but she learned to carry it with resilience, turning it into a source of strength rather than a hindrance. The journey toward healing was gradual, but Samantha was determined to emerge on the other side, stronger and wiser than ever before. Embracing the newfound strength cultivated through therapy and supportive friendships, Samantha ventured into a chapter of her life marked by resilience and self-discovery. In a quiet moment at her favorite cafe, she opened her laptop, immersing herself in a flood of job applications. Determined to forge ahead in her career, Samantha felt the empowering surge of independence. The buzz of excitement filled the air as she received an email confirming a job interview. The prospect of a new professional chapter provided a glimmer of hope. During an evening stroll in the park, Samantha's phone buzzed with a message from Rachel. "Movie night at my place? You've earned it." Smiling, Samantha accepted the invitation, relishing the warmth of friendship and the promise of laughter that had been absent for too long. As the days turned into weeks, Samantha embraced new hobbies and rekindled old passions. An art class became a sanctuary for creativity, and weekend hikes offered a connection to nature that proved to be therapeutic. In a candid conversation with her colleague, Mark, she shared her journey. "It's like I'm rediscovering who I am, Mark. The freedom to choose for myself is empowering." Mark nodded in understanding. Sometimes it takes adversity to unveil the strength we didn't know we possessed. You're on a remarkable journey, Samantha. In the realm of dating, Samantha treaded cautiously, realizing that trust needed time to mend. An unexpected encounter with a fellow art enthusiast, Alex, blossomed into friendship, allowing Samantha to navigate a delicate dance between vulnerability and newfound strength. One day, as Samantha perused the shelves of a bookstore, she stumbled upon a travel guide. The idea of solo exploration beckoned, and without hesitation, she purchased the book. Over dinner with Rachel, she announced her plans. "I'm thinking of taking a solo trip. Rediscovering myself in new places sounds like the perfect adventure." Rachel grinned. "You're turning the page on a whole new chapter, Sam. Go, explore, and savor every moment." As Samantha prepared for her solo journey, she marveled at the transformation within herself. The scars of the past had become badges of resilience, and the future was an open canvas waiting to be painted with the vibrant hues of new beginnings. The air buzzed with anticipation as Samantha stood at the precipice of her past, ready to embrace closure. The journey of healing and self-discovery had brought her to a point where she could confront the remnants of a broken marriage. In a lawyer's office, Samantha signed the final divorce papers. The weight of the pen felt both substantial and liberating, marking the end of a tumultuous chapter. As the attorney handed her the finalized documents, Samantha couldn't help but smile, a smile that resonated with newfound freedom. On a crisp afternoon, she sat down with her parents in the familiar comfort of their living room. Her father, noticing the subtle change in Samantha's demeanor, inquired, "Are you okay, sweetheart? You seem different." "In a good way." Samantha grinned. "I am, Dad. I've closed a chapter that needed to end. Now I can focus on building the life I want." Her mother, a beacon of support, added, "Sometimes closure is the key to unlocking new opportunities. We're proud of the strength you've shown, Sam." In a symbolic act of letting go, Samantha decided to visit her former home one last time. As she stood on the porch, memories flooded back, both bitter and sweet. She whispered to the wind, "This is goodbye, not just to a house, but to the pain that lived within its walls." A text from Rachel interrupted her moment of reflection. "Coffee at our favorite spot? I want to hear all about your solo adventure plans." At the cafe, Rachel, sensing Samantha's transformed aura, couldn't contain her curiosity. "So, what's next for you, Sam?" Samantha sipped her coffee, her eyes sparkling with determination. "I'm embracing the present and future. No more looking back. My solo trip is just the beginning." In the days that followed, Samantha prepared for her journey with meticulous excitement. She sensed that this solo adventure would be more than a geographical exploration. It would be a journey into the depths of herself, a celebration of resilience and newfound independence. As she bid farewell to her parents and prepared to embark on her solo trip, her father hugged her tight. "Go and conquer, Samantha. The world awaits your strength and spirit." On the plain, as Samantha looked out the window at the vast expanse below, she couldn't help but smile at the realization that closure was not an ending, but a prelude to a vibrant and unwritten future.